welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I am your hostess, Marla Martenson, and today I have an amazing, world-renowned Mexican healer. His name is Sergio Magana, and he's coming to us from Mexico City. So Sergio was surrounded by teachers of ancient Mexican spiritual healing practices for most of his life. Although raised in a Catholic home, he was initiated into the 5,000-year-old Toltec lineage of Mesoamerica, which influenced the Mayan and Aztec cultures, and was trained in the Toltecayotl oral tradition, which has been handed down for over 1,000 years. And Sergio leads workshops all around the world, empowering others to heal themselves through a new approach to ancient tradition. And I am so excited about your new book, Caves of Power. Welcome, Sergio. Welcome. Bienvenidos.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Marla. It's a pleasure to be with you here.
Yeah.
And lovely. You have a perfect Spanish.
Oh, gracias, you guys, viewers, subscribers. Sergio's in Mexico City, where my husband Adolfo is from as well. So I've spent a lot of time in Mexico City. Got married in Mexico City. Love it. It's like my second home. So this is exciting. And you have a similar background to my husband Adolfo, raised in a Catholic home. His mother went to church, sometimes 3 times a week. And so when I went down this healing path and really dove in deep, he was a little like, what's going on here? So some of the things what he learned or felt was a little kind of strange. So I'm excited to hear about that. So even though you were born into a Catholic upbringing, it was your nanny who kind of got you into another way of thinking, right? Rosita?
Yeah, I was raised in a Catholic family, traditional. Not so Catholic, but
okay.
At least once a week to go to the Mass and that. My grandmother, she was really Catholic. I think she went to Mass, to the church every day.
Yeah.
But the huge difference is that my mother studied and worked. And so I was really raised by my nanny, that she was the daughter of the healer, the curandero of a community that they are named the Otomis, that live very close to Mexico City in Toluca, close to Toluca. And so she was, her destiny was to be like the next one in line in healing the town, her small town. But circumstances of the life, she had to escape, and then she finished working in my parents' house. And so I had like 2 mothers. Like I always say, like the normal one, always, if I had a headache or something, she would give me a pill, or the normal things, she would take me to the doctor. But my second mother, if I had like an ache, she would like take tobacco out, and then she will begin like smudging actually the place with the pain, and then she will like smoke it.
Uh-huh.
And when she blew it out, the pain will disappear like magic.
Wow.
If it was something more serious, she will do like an egg or a coconut, and then she will crush the egg or the coconut outside the house.
Oh.
And then I will be good like in 15-20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So actually it was quite interesting, because I saw that both were effective, because actually if you take a pill and something, the headache disappears or something, but also the egg, the coconut, all these formulas. So I actually, now that I see it from the distance, I think I was quite privileged, and that my mind always got like, there are 2 options for everything.
Wow.
That you can have traditional medicine, or you can have other perspective and get the same result.
Well, and the traditional medicine, like an aspirin or an Advil or something, thank God for it, because when I get a headache, it's not going to go away until I take something. But at the same time, it masks the underlying problem. So, maybe you needed a chiropractic adjustment. Maybe you didn't have coffee that day, that happens to me sometimes. But I love trying the alternative first, the natural thing first, if possible.
Yeah, me now, yes, but in the beginning, when I was a child, I didn't.
Whoa.
I wasn't thinking of the psychological behind the pains. I just saw that they were as effective one of the other, no?
Right.
Now, of course, I try always first the energy healing and that, and after everything that I have seen in these years. So for me, it's my option one. I am not against medicine. I'm not radical at all.
Right.
Sometimes it's really, really good. But I also try to do the energy thing and that before, and then let's go.
And so how did you, at what age did you start realizing that you wanted to be a healer or that you were a healer? How did this unfold for you?
I never thought I wanted to be a healer, actually.
What did you think you were going to be like when you were a kid? You know, what did you want to be when you grew up?
An actor, always.
Like me. Okay. We have a lot in common.
Yeah, really? You
Yes.
wanted to be an actress?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be an actor. I never thought, actually, then these were like the things that I saw since I was a child with my nanny. But then I became like a normal young man. And I was trying to be an actor and that. But at the same time, there was like this spiritual calling always. So I began exploring with for example, it's so amazing because I was a very rebel teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother thought that she was going to put me in a normal therapist.
Okay.
And she was a psychologist actually, but she was mainly a psychologist, but also an energy healer.
Okay.
That she used to do to use the peripheral vision to see your aura and that. And so once I was in the session with her, and she kind of moved the eyes and saw my energetic body, and that was the first time that she told me, "You're not going to be an actor. You are going to be like me, that it will be like a healer or something like that,
Yeah.
and you will be one of the very good ones." That's the first time that it crossed for my mind.
And how did you feel when she said that? Were you like, "What, are you kidding me? I'm going to be a star of the next telenovela"? Or
I wanted to do. Actually, I did one small part in a telenovela.
Yeah.
No, I just said, could it be? And actually, I began like taking some workshops with her about dowsing and healing with energy and that. So.
Okay, so you started studying with her a little bit, this therapy.
Yeah, a little bit, but I wasn't planning actually to do it professionally.
Yeah.
So then, with the nanny, I learned so many things that then I began learning some with Laura. But then, like I told you, I was rebel, and so my parents kicked me out of my house eventually.
Wait a minute. Why did they kick you out? They saw you were going on this crazy
They
path?
were very, very strict. They say, you must be here at 1 or 2.
Okay.
And it was, for example, if you were late 1 minute or 2, you couldn't go out in 2
Okay,
days.
so you got kicked out for being a rebel, not for the energy stuff, the different things.
No.
Not for being a different
But
thinker.
actually, my mother wasn't very... For example, because I began reading books of energy healing and that, and she entered and to my room and stop reading those things. You won't live of those things. You must be normal and be an angel.
Be normal, like you're wasting your time, right?
Yeah. You're totally wasting your time.
Yeah.
But and then I said, what do I do? Because I needed to support myself. And I had been so much in energy healing and I wasn't planning it. But once I went, like the nanny showed me many perceptual skills in how to see energetic bodies and that. So I could see that. And I went with one of my friends to a talk about nutritional products. And I don't know how the talk went from nutritional products to energy.
Uh-huh.
So there were 3 ladies there, and I told one of those, did you have like a problem or something around your belly button? And she told me, yes, I had surgery. Mm-hmm. How do you know? I said, because you have a lot of energy there that is not flowing. And then the other one told me, where do I have a problem? And I said, did you have any surgery or something in your legs? And she told me, yes, I have had so many circulatory problems and that. And the third one, she had like a turtleneck, I remember perfect, and told me, and what about me? And I just like saw, and I said, like in your neck. And she had like a biopsy for the thyroid. So they told me, how can you see it? I said, because if you move like in a certain angle, and then they asked me, how can you fix that? And I said yes, because I knew like how to repair meridians and how to make the energy flow. And from that day, like I didn't know that one of those ladies was like the director of a behavioral center in Mexico City. So she loved like the energy healing that I did. And in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, she sent all her clients to see me also to fix the energy. So, and I needed to support myself. I needed to earn money. So
and
I said, okay,
how old were you at this point, Sergio?
like 23.
Okay.
23.
And so then you had to just pick a price, like, decide how much am I going to charge these people? How, where am I?
Yeah, I was studying in the theater at the same time, so I said, okay, I can pay my bills with this, and then I will keep being an actor.
Right.
But when I think when it's meant, it's meant, because it became like getting huge, and they invited me, one of the clients, to a radio show that she was doing about astrology and many things. So I went, and they loved what I said about the indigenous tradition, how they healed, and about things that I learned with Laura. And then they offered me like my own show, like unbelievable, like in 2 months. And then it began getting like huge and big workshops and that. And eventually I had like to take the decision, would I like to be a doctor or I want to keep being a healer? I decided I'd kept on. Very reluctant at a certain times.
Right.
But it has been, now that I see it from the distance, like an amazing journey.
Well, it's very interesting because when the universe has something for you and you're open, I mean, like it just brought you all those clients. You never know what one person can bring to you, one radio appearance. And the acting, for me, I was acting for 20 years, but I was also waitressing, and I could never make my living at it. I do TV commercials or print work. But all of that training, and I studied acting classes for 20 years, and now I'm do my YouTube show. I'm also on the radio, talking to people. So all of those skills that we learned acting were the people skills and the confidence, and we're using. Now you're giving workshops. You're kind of acting. I mean, you're using it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. So nothing's wasted, right? Is my point. Is it's all bringing us the skills.
Many of my students, they tell me, you are totally an actor when you are teaching your workshops. You are like moving like this and that. If not, it would be really boring.
Right. You make it. You when you teach, you've got to be entertaining and interesting.
Yeah. When you speak, no, it wasn't wasted.
Yeah.
Actually, but it's different. Yeah.
Do you think you might ever still circle around? How old are you now, if I can ask?
I'm going to be 42.
Okay, so do you think you might ever go back to trying to act, or
no,
so yeah?
No, I'm totally fine now, because actually,
I know that feeling, that burning feeling. I mean, I used to say when I first came from Seattle to LA, and I was 19, and I thought at that time 25 was so old, and I said, oh my God, if I'm by the time I'm 25, if I'm not an working actor, I'll just kill myself. It's like you have that desire that you can't I'll never quit. And then as I approached 40, I'm like, I cannot put on another waitress apron one more time. I can't wait on tables anymore after 20 years. So I switched as well. But it's interesting how you think you may never give something up, but you segue into something maybe more meaningful.
Yeah, and because that was only the start, then it really got interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
So many other things happened, like because of the radio show, one of my teachers of the ancient Mexican tradition, Hugo, my main teacher actually, I think, he was hearing the radio show. And he had been in the Mexican tradition for years and years, and he heard me, and he said he will be the one. And the one what? The one he said that was going to spread his lineage, everything that he knew of the Mexican tradition around the world. And he began going to some of my energy workshops. And after the second one, he told me, I didn't come to to teach you anything. I came to, I didn't come to study. I came to teach you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, really? Because you know that in this world, some people have lost like the floor.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And I gave him like 1 hour. And in that hour, he explained me the Mexican tradition, why dreams were so important, how to meld the waking state with the dreaming and that. And he made me like a prophecy like 15 years ago, no, like 13 years ago, like after the eclipse of July of 2010, the Mexica wisdom is going to the world. You will be one of the first carriers, and it will start by Italy, then the UK. And actually, before that eclipse, I was invited to give a small talk about healing in Hawaii. It was full of Italians.
Oh.
And they invited me to give a small also talk in Italy. There was my first publisher there that she told me, your book is for yesterday. I said, which book? And then she told me the one that you're going to write, that it was a huge success in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, and then my second publisher that it was for Hay House UK, exactly how he said. And then I told him, how did you know? So he told me, because I dreamt it, of course, but then because also we think that the destruction of our culture was done by the Spanish, but it was really the base in the Vatican. Yeah. So we must start sharing there, and then the other part must start like in the UK, because they got like the other half of what is the US and that, and then from there we will start like sharing. Mm-hmm. And everything has happened. So it got so interesting that I don't think about acting and nothing else again, no?
Right. That's well, it's so exciting. So in this book, Caves of Power, do you you teach people how they can do it for themselves, right? You have a lot of. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Because now, like, I'm traveling so much, I used to do so many healings that many of that is about melting the waking state with the dreaming and astral surgeries that. But in a certain point, I realized that I was only one and that the people were so much. I was sometimes seeing like 25 clients every day, and I was exhausted. And then I realized, I think that the only way to do this correctly is to begin teaching people.
Right.
And now I had been like many, many years just teaching people how to do it. And after that, I said, okay, it's time to do the book. And so that people can do them by themselves. Mm-hmm. It's time to be sharing and actually, I think it's the best legacy. You know, people begin learning and teaching others, and huge changes.
Yeah, we can help heal ourselves and our families. And tell us a little bit about psychic surgery, because I'm really fascinated with psychic surgery.
It's based in an ancient technique that was done in Mexico, that they use clay.
Okay.
Clay, yeah. Now I do it sometimes because you cannot do it with clay, and that because you can do it, but it would be a little bit messy if you are traveling and that. Sometimes I use Play-Doh, the organic one, and that. But and it's like with an obsidian wand. You do like, for example, if I'm going to do the surgery in my heart, for example, I will do like an incision. I will open like the two layers, and then I will test the temperature. If it's cold, in order to get the healing, I need to warm it up. If it's hot or warm, I need to cool it. So you begin calling all the spirit of the sickness of the problem, the things that created it, the underworlds, the repetitive destructive patterns, all the traumas, and you begin pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling until you get like the change of temperature.
And this is all energetically you're talking about.
Energetically, yeah. We don't open the body and that, but it has like amazing effects. Thousands of people have entered like in remissions and that, doing that. And then you cut like the energetic cord between the clay and the organ and that, and then you command like them to shift. So the energy that was in the creating the problem goes to the clay. Mm-hmm. And then you like stitch like the energetic body, and then you begin working with the clay, and then with the same obsidian, it's like the metaphor of killing the problem.
And
then
can you do that on yourself too, or only on others? People?
Yeah.
And is that explained in this book for people?
Yeah, completely.
And it's you think it's question. This one I think is very important. So, for example, I know someone who is in their 60s and has a ton of health problems, from congestive heart failure to Crohn's disease to you name it, and they have some extra weight, and it's all from lifestyle, eating junk food, constant, sodas and milkshakes and hamburgers and no exercise. So all the health problems that this person has is totally from bad eating and lifestyle. So if someone wanted to do this psychic surgery, do you think this would help with why they're doing this to themselves in the first place? Because somebody who's treating their body like that, because it's not caused by thoughts or it's caused by eating crap. So what's the difference here with that?
I think, for example, when you take out the energy that is creating an issue, one of the main things that you are like taking is like the repetitive destructive patterns. That is everything that you are telling me. Mm-hmm. So of course they can improve, but the main thing is, if you really do it well, is that tendency to live like that can change. Mm-hmm. But also, they should try to help the healer and not only everything in the healer. So that's why in the book there are many like techniques to change yourself also. Not only like the physical healing, but the emotional healing, to manifest a new way of living.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people, the way our lifestyle is, I mean, let's face it, I think Mexico was voted #1 in the obesity on the planet, and the United States is #2, and people's lifestyles are just killing us, and we kind of, people will often go, well, just heal me, instead of looking, okay, what am I doing that is put me here in the first place? So I think it's a hand in hand. We really have to look at ourselves and see what we have to kind of change too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's like a team, no?
Yes.
But sometimes when people go to the healing, you do your best, and they get like these huge improvements. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when they don't change, because I have had so many testimonials for many things, mm-hmm. that, for example, people get healed, and in 3 years they are like the same, but mm-hmm. you did it well. It's not about you. Yes. It's that they didn't change anything.
Right. So, yes. Yeah. And you're not a magician. You are, you're changing some stuff. So, okay. Question. I got to show you something in this book. So you've got something called the Cosmic Cross.
Yeah.
And then in here, I'll put up a picture of it so people can see. But there's the voladores de Papantla. Those voladores, I've seen those Indians go way up on the pole, and then they go. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna die. So what is the significance of this? I still didn't understand. This is so cool.
Because for the voladores de Papantla, I know that now it's just like an ancient tradition that people see like a show. Mm-hmm. That is ancient, but it comes from a basic principle of the ancient ones, that it was said that the universe was based in the principle 4. So that the 4 was like the main number of the universe, because that's why we have 4 elements, or 4 phases of the moon, or 4 main moments of the day. There will be sun rising, midday, sunset, midnight, or 2 solstices and 2 equinoxes to complete a cycle. Mm-hmm. So, and it was said that these 4 forces that were creating everything were named Tezcatlipocas. Mm-hmm. And one is Quetzalcoatl, that is the white one, and the black Tezcatlipoca, the red, the blue. And that they, for example, if you see ancient codexes, you see drawings of the 4 Tezcatlipoca, and each of them like pulling a cord, mm-hmm. and that is always moving. Mm-hmm. So it is said that our reality is that movement of those 4 forces. That, for example, if those 4 forces are moving, mm-hmm. You will cross from the sunset to the midday. From sun rising, midday, sunset, midnight, and again another cycle, or the 4 phases of the moon. So it's what is happening time to time. And the voladores de Papantla are the representation of that ancient wisdom. Of course, now people only see it like this spectacle in which people are actually like kind of being very, very courageous to do that because it's really dangerous.
Yes. I can't even believe they can go up that high and stand there. I mean, it doesn't look like anything's holding them. The main guy dancing up there on that little thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it many times in Mexico.
Yeah. It's beautiful, but it's the representation of the ancient wisdom of how the four main forces of the universe were always creating and moving.
And so what are your, I don't think you really talk about it, but what is so lately I've been trying to open my third eye, the pineal gland. So what is your take on that? And have you opened yours? How important is it? What is your, talk a little bit about it.
In the tradition, there wasn't like a third eye.
Yes.
It was said that we had a third and a fourth eye, and that they were in the temples.
Okay.
And the main thing to do that is to begin using your peripheral vision. Okay. In order to be able to see the energetical fields or to work in the obsidian mirror and see how your face shifts and that. So it is much more about the third and the fourth eye. That is a metaphor of what you can get about the peripheral vision.
But what about so that we can astral travel, maybe see other dimensions, maybe see angels or spirits?
You can see the energetic body moving the eyes like that. Yeah. You can see, for example, I take groups to some caves, and sometimes we have seen there the feather jaguar, the feather coyote. You can see inorganics, and astral like travel is something else that is related to the dreaming training, that it will be like an out of the body experience, but it's like something different, but they're kind of related.
Yeah, I've had it happen to me before where I would be laying there and I'd hear like an engine almost starting and this buzzing. It's very strong, and then I'd lift up out of the body. Yeah.
Is it shaking before?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of scary.
And then
and then it's happened a few times, but I'd like it to happen more, and there's no way I can really, it just, happens without me trying. So I'd like to be able to control that. It would be kind of cool. But so that in the cave, the jaguar and what you saw, so these are like energetic or spiritual beings.
But you see it clearly, energetically, yeah. Mm-hmm. And many people have interacted with them, and that it's quite amazing.
That's awesome. So what would you say to people who want to start on their spiritual journey? Anything, I mean, it's never too late, right? And what do you have any tips for just getting going? I mean, of course, this book is a great start. Maybe getting attuned to Reiki, or what do you suggest for people?
Yeah, well, first of all, of what you asked me, it's never late. It's better late than never.
Yes.
we can say. What I really suggest to the people is to try not to jump here, there, and there. To try to focus in a path that really calls you, mm-hmm. and to compromise with your practice, because I don't believe just practicing 5 minutes something. Compromise with the different practices that you are doing, and keep doing it. Discipline takes you not obsessed, but to be constant in your own practices will create a lot of changes.
Yeah, get some momentum going, like a daily meditation or something. I have a new meditation I'm doing, and I'm saying, okay, I'm doing it 20 minutes every day. I don't care. And I was slacking off on it, and now I'm just like, I'm doing it now, and I'm so happy about it. So it takes you sometimes just to say, that's it. I'm taking these 20 minutes for myself to work on my practice, and that's it.
That's what I believe, because a lot of people just go to the workshop. They are very enthusiastic the first week, then they do it once a month. That's not the way. It's like try to really compromise with your spiritual practice and to do it.
The workshop, I know, I've spent thousands on workshops and many arguments with my husband. It's like, no more, But the workshops are great, and I love them, but if you don't implement them, it does that. It just kind of dissipates, the whole thing. You might as well not have of gone if you're not going to implement anything. Unless, I mean, of course, it's a great time.
Yeah, it is, but
Yeah.
I always tell my students, because all the practices normally that I teach, or you have to do it 36 days in a row or 52 days in a row,
Okay.
and it's like half an hour, 1 hour. All of them are like that. So I said, it's your choice. You came here. You can have a beautiful experience and say, oh, it was wonderful, and don't get any change,
Right.
or you can really commit it with yourself and do it, because and then I have seen so many people life changing, but it's not about me, it's about that they really committed with the practices and they did it for a certain time of repetition. Because if we will begin speaking like the voladores de Papantla or the Tezcatlipocas, it is said, how you dream you renew, but you must create repetitive patterns to create the knowledge of your life.
Right.
So you don't create the repetitive patterns, the knowledge won't come. So
yeah, that's true. Well, Sergio, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, and this is so exciting. And all of you guys, all of Sergio's links are below, so you can connect with him. You can get his book. You can check out his website. And much love. Bye, everybody.
much love. Thank you, Marla.